In conjunction with NAREIT's REIT Week, I'm here with Sam Landy, President and CEO of UMH Properties. UMH recently commented on April rent collections, noting that they were not significantly impacted by the pandemic. As the states in which UMH operates begin to reopen, do you expect any April shortfalls to be collected? And do you see the same applying to May rent?
We've collected 97% of April rent to date, and the May rent we've collected 94%, which is in line with a year ago. So we don't see any substantial negative impact, and we anticipate collecting, the normal amounts we usually do. So it's due to the resilience of the product, and the residents are paying the rent.
UMH recently released its Q1 earnings report. What were the major messages you wanted to communicate with shareholders there?
We've had a long-term business plan, and we've been working to further that business plan, and the results are showing that what we're doing is working. Our results are very predictable. We add 800 rentals, which generates about $7 million in new rental revenue. We raise rents 4%, which generates about $5 million in new revenue. And half of that total $12 million will be operating income. And that operating income increases the value of the properties. And when you put that $6 million of new operating income at a 5 cap, that's about $120 million in new value. And then you could subtract from that the $40 million cost of the rental units, and then you have about $80 million in value that we created last year and that we believe we'll create again this year. And that's, very substantial, and we're very proud of it. We have resident-owned homes and land lease communities. That's been proven over decades to be an extremely stable income stream. The resident owns the house and pays the lot rent. UMH has really pioneered the use of rental homes in manufactured home communities. And this is working fantastically well and proving to be as stable an income stream as resident-owned homes. And the reason is because people have a 5,000 square foot lot, a 1,000 square foot house on that lot, and they're paying less than $1,000 per month, as low as $750 per month for these brand new 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses. So because of the quality of the product, we maintain 95% rental occupancy, and we're using these rentals to fill the communities that we purchase, and we buy them at 60 or 70% occupancy, and we're now up to a total corporate occupancy of 84%. So the message I want the shareholders to receive, when you look at FFO for UMH, it's important to compare apples to apples. How many shares existed last year? How many properties were there last year? What was the FFO from those properties and those shares? And what did that FFO do a year further out? Now, we do raise new capital through preferred stock to make acquisitions, and that new capital does not earn money immediately. But you have to look at our 52-year history in the manufactured housing business and our ability to take money and earn profits with it. And what's going to happen in the future, when we pioneered the use of rental homes, we obtained the money to buy those rental homes by issuing preferred stock first at 8.25%, we retired that. Then at 8%, we'll retire $95 million of 8% preferred in October of this year. And then at 6 3/4, and then at 6 3/8. So we have approximately $450 million of outstanding preferred stock. At this moment, the GSEs and banks are discovering how stable this rental stream is from rental homes. The more they understand the stability of that income stream, the higher the likelihood that we're going to be able to finance these rental homes and their income with 3% or 4% debt, as opposed to 8% or 6 3/8% preferred. So on this first $95 million that comes due in October, we should lower the cost from 8% to 4% and maybe even sub 4%. And that becomes extremely accretive to the common shareholders And that's been the objective, and we're getting closer and closer to that point. So we have a 52-year history operating communities. We knew that our residents would be a stable source of income in rental homes, even if they didn't own the homes. That is working out even better than we would have suspected. And we look forward to the growth that we can have internally from our 16% vacant sites and from our adding these rental homes, building expansions, and doing sales of homes. So I think our shareholders have a lot to look forward to, and we look forward to providing those results.
How will the pandemic change the use of real estate in your sector?
So there's interesting things going on here. The poor people stuck in the cities, in high-rise buildings. It's an extremely difficult period of time for a lot of people. For just $10,000 per year, someone could have a backup rental house in a UMH community in the Poconos or Eastern Pennsylvania, somewhere within 2 hours from the city. So people who are stuck in those buildings for $10,000 a year could keep a backup house on a 5,000 square foot lot, 1,000 square foot house, be able to walk around their community, get outside the house, nice areas. Potentially people take them as backup houses. But even if they don't, the pandemic proves that our communities have workforce housing and that these are necessary workers in our economy. They're still working today, at least enough of them that we're collecting 97% of the rent. So I really don't see the pandemic negatively affecting us. And we see the changes in real estate. More people will want quality, affordable housing outside of cities, and we fill that need.
Sam, thank you so much for your time today.
Very good, and thank you for having us.
For more from REIT Week 2020, visit REIT.com.